So this session is going to be so much fun because we'll start putting together some of the concepts we've learned in the previous sessions. And so the session title is Logic and Emotional Content of the Text. Hopefully it makes sense as we go through it. So what we've done so far is, we talked about reading slowly and multiple times and, having this zoom in perspective where we start from the high level overview and then we kind of drill down and to consider the headlines at, when we're reading through text, and then being a detective, asking questions. And so we looked at reading slowly from 3 different translations, that kind of follows the translation philosophy, from the ESV, which does more of the word for word, to the CSB, which does combination of word for word and thought for thought, and then NIV that translates more thought for thought. Another practical I'd suggested is copy the letter by hand if you can, which is really a nice way of just basically you're writing, as you're writing, you're concentrating more. And then to take the headlines. Headlines is just the main sort of headlines of each chapter. That is already done for us. If you can go through your Bible, it's generally given. But when you do it for yourself, it might just help you to just get a better, a big picture perspective of the text. And as I mentioned, you're asking questions. So we're going to do that. We're going to do this with 3 John, and then go through it together. And so hopefully this can then help us to have a practical understanding of application of what we've just been discussing. So the first one is 3 John, and we'll do the ESV version, and then we'll do 3 John in the CSB and then the NIV. So it'd be nice if someone could read. Oh, sorry. Let me change. It would be nice if someone could read with me, or read for us. That way, I don't have to read all of it. Let me just change this because it's. Okay, sorry about that. I'm just going to change it because... Okay, here we go. So who would like to read the ESV version of 3 John?
Let's see. Let's see. Yes.
I can go ahead, Raj. Can I? If somebody is volunteering?
Yeah, you can go ahead. And CBC, I'm not sure if I can't see you because I'm sharing my screen. But if you want to do the next one, the CSB, that's great. And then someone else can do the NLT. But Dad, go ahead. You can do the ESV.
Thank you. Verse 1 goes like this. The elder to the beloved Gaius, whom I love in truth. Beloved, I pray that all may go well with you and that you may be in good health, as it goes well with your soul. For I rejoiced greatly when the brothers came and testified to your truth, as indeed you are walking in the truth. I have no greater joy than to hear that my children are walking in the truth. Beloved, it's a faithful thing you do in all your efforts for these brothers, strangers as they are, who testified to your love before the church. You will do well to send them on their way, on the journey in a manner worthy of God. For they have gone out for the sake of the name, accepting nothing from the Gentiles. Therefore, we ought to support people like these, that we may be fellow workers for the truth. I've written something to the church, but Diotrephes, who likes to put himself first, does not acknowledge our authority. So, if I come, I will bring up what he is doing, talking wicked nonsense against us. And not content with that, he refuses to welcome the brothers and also stops those who want to and puts them out of the church. Beloved, do not imitate evil, but imitate good. Whoever does good is from God. Whoever does evil has not seen God. Demetrius has received a good testimony from everyone and from the truth itself. We also add our testimony, and you know that our testimony is true. I had much to write to you, but I would rather not write with pen and ink. I hope to see you soon, and we will talk face to face. Peace be to you. The friends greet you. Greet the friends, each by name.
Thank you, Dad. Now it's the CSB version.
Okay. Let's see if we can get it from the CSB.
Yeah,
Okay, can I read?
please.
All right. From the CSB, greeting the elder to my dear friend Jairus, whom I love in the truth. Dear friend, I pray that you are prospering in every way and are in good health, just as your whole life is going well. For I was very glad when fellow believers came and testified to your fidelity to the truth, how you are walking in truth. I have no greater joy than this, to hear that my children are walking in truth. Verse 5. Dear friend, you are acting faithfully in whatever you do for the brothers and sisters, especially when they are strangers. They have testified to your love before the church. You will do well to send them on their journey in a manner worthy of God, since they set out for the sake of the name, accepting nothing from pagans. Therefore, we ought to support such people so that we can be co-workers with the truth. Verse 9. I wrote something to the church, but Diotrephes, who loves to have first place among them, does not receive our authority. This is why, if I come, I will remind him of the work he is doing, slandering us with malicious words. And he is not satisfied with that. He not only refuses to welcome fellow believers, but he even stops those who want to do so and expels them from the church. Dear friend, do not imitate what is evil, but what is good. The one who does good is of God. The one who does evil has not seen God. Everyone speaks well of Demetrius, even the truth itself, and we also speak well of him. And you know that our testimony is true. Verse 13. I have many things to write you, but I don't want to write to you with pen and ink. I hope to see you soon, and we will talk face to face. Peace to you. The friends send you greetings. Greet the friends by name.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Man, it's so hard to read this part about, refusing people to welcome fellow believers. It's really messed up. The next one, NLT. Anybody would like to read the NLT version? Well, I can do it if that's okay. So this is the NLT. This letter is from John the Elder. I am writing to Gaius, my dear friend, whom I love in the truth. Dear friend, I hope all is well with you and that you are as healthy in body as you are strong in spirit. Some of the traveling teachers recently returned and made me very happy by telling me about your faithfulness and that you are living according to the truth. I could have no greater joy than to hear that my children are following the truth. Dear friend, you're being faithful to God when you care for the traveling teachers who pass through, even though they're strangers to you. Okay. Sorry, a puppy came home. Hey, Rainy, how you doing? If they have told the church here of your loving friendship. Please continue providing for such teachers in a manner that pleases God. For they are traveling for the Lord, and they accept nothing from people who are not believers. So we ourselves should support them so that we can be their partners as they teach the truth. I wrote to the church about this, but Diotrephes, who loves to be the leader, refuses to have anything to do with us. When I come, I will report some of the things he's doing and the evil accusations he's making against us. Not only does he refuse to welcome the traveling teachers, he also tells others not to help them. And when they do help, he puts them out of the church. Dear friend, don't let this bad example influence you. Follow only what is good. Remember that those who do good prove that they are God's children. Those who do evil prove they do not know God. Everyone speaks highly of Demetrius, as does the truth itself. We ourselves can say the same for him, and you know we speak the truth. I have much more to say to you, but I don't want to write it with pen and ink, for I hope to see you soon, and then we will talk face to face. Peace be with you. Your friends here send you their greetings. Please give my personal greetings to each of our friends there. So again, just reading through the different flavor of the three letters, hopefully I'm sorry, it's my puppy, she's like being disruptive. So hopefully you could see just the ESV, CSB and the NLT gives you hopefully a more fuller picture of what's going on. So let's talk about the headlines. Like, what would you say? It's a short letter. So what would you say is the headline that summarizes or captures this letter?
Love for believers and walk in the truth. Love for fellow believers and walk in the truth.
That's great.
I would say mindful of opposition within the church.
Well, here's the one I have. Gaius demonstrates truth and love. Diotrephes doesn't. That's just the headline.
Very good.
So again, the headline just gives you a very high-level overview of the letter, and then you can drill down to the detail. Now, what are some questions you have regarding 3 John? So what we're going to do is, again, break up into small groups, and we can then we'll spend 5 minutes, not 10 minutes this time. It's a short letter. Welcome back, everyone. So what are some questions you have? What did you guys come up with? Well, we're gonna go through each verse, and we'll talk through the content, both and the emotion of it. For now, I just want us to talk about the questions.
Okay.
What are some questions you have? That's a good question. As we continue on, hopefully it gets answered. Any other questions that you think of as you're reading 3 John?
Okay, so I'm gonna mention our question in the.
Yes, please. Yes.
No, go ahead.
No, I think I remember only
You want me to?
two questions.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
you can
No,
do
I
mention because
let me go
last.
ahead.
Yeah.
I think the question is the characters. That the questions that we had were around the characters. Number one, Gaius. Who is this guy? As much as we know that he's the guy that has been written to, who did great. What position does he have in the church? Is he a leader? Or is just the member of a church? And we asked, who is Diotrephes as well. What position in the church does he hold? You know, and now they speak about Jairus being a guy that was had faithfulness. You know, believers testified about his faithfulness, but the question was, what did he do? You know, that what is it that demonstrated his faithfulness that was so evident that people can even testify about it? You know, so and the writer says that it gives him great joy to hear that his children are walking in the truth. Who are his children? You know, those that he's joyful for, which they are walking in the truth. You know, the other question that we had is, which church is this Jairus from? You know, where is this church? You know, we're learning about the church in Ephesus, the church in Thessalonica, Colossae, and all those other churches. But now with this one specifically, which one is this church that the Jairus is coming from? You know, the question that we got cut while we were discussing, or I was putting across, is I was looking at the behavior of Diotrephes. You know, uh, what happened to him, man? What corrupted his mind? Why is he acting different? What made him behave this way? Was he hurt by the church? What happened? What happened to him, man? I don't want to believe that he just became like this. So yeah, I think this is the question that I have. What happened to Diotrephes for him to behave this way? I think those are the questions that we spoke about. Amen.
Wow, those are great questions. And I love the last one especially. What happened to him? It's sobering. But the other group, do you have any questions that you guys came up with, different from the ones Subusiso mentioned?
Nothing is left. All.
Well, all those pretty similar to the ones. Well, here's the ones that I have.
Yeah,
Who's writing this letter? And we're just gonna. It's Apostle John. To whom is it written? It's Gaius, who seems to be the house church leader. Why is it written? It's to encourage Gaius and to warn or rebuke Diotrephes. The other question, who is Gaius? Again, the same thing as Subusiso had. Where is he? Maybe Asia Minor, or the reason being, you know, John was writing to the churches in the 7 churches in Revelation. Maybe Gaius is a member of one of those. We don't know. Again, that's speculation. How big is his house church? You know, that's a curious question. Who are these traveling teachers? And where are they traveling from? Where are they traveling to? Why wasn't Diotrephes welcoming? Is it related to 1 John 2 and 1 John 4? And we can turn to 1 John 2 just quickly. In 1 John 2:22, the Bible reads, "Who is the liar? It is whoever denies that Jesus is the Christ. Such a person is the Antichrist, denying the Father and the Son." 1 John 4 verse 1 says, "Dear friends, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God, because many false prophets have gone out into the world. This is how you can recognize the Spirit of God. Every spirit that acknowledges that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh is from God." So is Diotrephes someone who did not believe Jesus came in the flesh? Now there was this false teaching that crept in, that Jesus only appeared human, that he actually was not in the flesh, and then that he is not the Christ, which for us is not, maybe a religious thing, but for them Christ is the anointed king. So question is, perhaps Diotrephes believed that Jesus is not the king and Caesar is. Jesus was just maybe a lesser god, if you or something. I don't know. This is all speculation. But clearly he wasn't teaching the message that Jesus is the resurrected Son of God. So again, question to wonder if he is you know, is that why he wasn't welcoming these teachers? Because they're going to challenge him and call him to repent. So who is Demetrius? So there's this one mentioned. Is Demetrius the one that Diotrephes is not welcoming? You know, is he one of the teachers that is not being welcomed by Diotrephes? How did all of this get resolved? We don't know, right? How did Gaius feel about what was happening? How did Diotrephes feel? How close were the Apostle John to Gaius and Diotrephes? How close were they old friends that then had a fallout? Again, we don't know. But what this question hopefully does bring up is the relational of this letter. We don't miss it, you know, because these are real people, real lives, and real situation. So then when we bring it to our own side of the, you know, on our applying it to our lives and to our community, hopefully we can then also realize that there's relational stuff happening here we don't want to miss. And then how did the church itself feel about the situation? Because it's not just house church and Diotrephes house church. And it sounds like this guy was a pretty controlling guy. Like he was telling people not to even help. So how were they all feeling about this situation? It couldn't have been a pleasant one. And